welcome to this introduction to the Country Education Foundation, a community-driven program designed to help rural youth achieve their post-high school education goals and aspirations.
I proudly come from the Shire of Temora in New South Wales, and we're some 80 kilometres south of Wagga Wagga, and it's a very, well, we think very vibrant shire, and one that is certainly very focused on agriculture, although we're experiencing some difficult times, not unlike other smaller rural communities. But we're also very fortunate that we have a very strong aviation museum that Mr David Lowy has brought to this community. We have V8 jet boat championships at Lake Centenary, and just essentially there's a lot of things happening in Temora, and we seem to be covering a broad cross-section of age groups, and I think that's very important. But again, to me, people make a community, and I think Temora hasn't received the friendliest town in New South Wales title. We haven't received that lightly, and that's very biased, but it's true in my view.
I come from West Wyalong. I've been here for 21 years, and West Wyalong over that time has changed enormously. In recent years we've sustained 10 years of really horrible drought conditions, but then the other side of that is that we've been very fortunate to have a gold mining company start in our local area, and that's been quite successful for our local region. It's a small country town of around 4,000 people in town and 7,000 in the Shire.
We first heard about the Country Education Foundation of Australia and its great work. We were at a conference and heard all about it, and that obviously struck a chord with a couple of us fellows that were there, and we set about immediately finding out more about it. We wanted to get involved, and we come back and went about writing down a list of key people in our community, in the business, education, council and general community, seeking key people to be part of making this happen and helping our local youngsters. So obviously we recruited those key people, somewhere in the vicinity of around a dozen key people we felt was appropriate, and we had the CEO of the Country Education Foundation come out, address us and inform us literally of what it is about, and of course that only made one even more enthusiastic about the work that it does, and it was extremely simple process of recruiting people to help their own local youth. I've never experienced such ease in recruiting people for an organisation such as the Education Foundation.
Our committee is made up of a wide range of people. Geographically, they come from all areas within our shire, and a range of different backgrounds. So local business people, people who are involved in local government, farming. We have a committee member that has been involved in Isolated Children and Parents Association, people who are involved in health provision within our area, but by and large we're a group of people who are very, very passionate about assisting young people in reaching their goals. Within our fund, the process for applying for a grant, initially the applicant needs to complete an application form which gives us general information about themselves, their goals, what education they have reached to this point, and where they want to go from here and what it will cost them to reach their goals. And from that we then interview all applicants and talk to them at great length about what they want to do. Through that process, they've also completed a budget, and we talk quite extensively about how they're going to work within that budget to reach their goals. From that point, then we assess the applicants and advise them as to whether or not they've been successful. And often it's the first time that young people have participated in an interview. So we try to make that interviewing process as friendly and as useful for them as possible.
I think the grants help in a practical way, quite literally, by the student receiving dollars that can assist them, whether that may be by way of purchasing a laptop or helping them towards travel costs. Particularly in rural remote areas, travel is a significant issue. Accommodation is another quite practical way in which the dollars help, and textbooks are another big ticket item as well, and so to us that's very real and very practical way that it assists.
The grants are not given in cash, they're given as a result of the students providing either receipts, in which case they're reimbursed for pre-approved expenses, or evidence of where their expenses have been incurred, so as we can pay the service providers, such as accommodation. In the case of accommodation, we would pay the university campus. We provided 12 grants in our first year, and it covered a wide range of career paths. So things like from a Bachelor of Psychology, all the way through to teaching, sports journalism, sports management, electrician, hairdressing, a wide range of different potential careers for fabulous young people from our community.
Range of pursuits that our grant recipients are achieving range from a photography course at TAFE, ranges from physiotherapy at the university in various centres. Also, there is an apprentice builder that has sought and been successful in receiving funding. There has been someone even doing hairdressing, floristry. There is a multitude of career paths.
Anyone can apply for a grant through their local country education fund. They need to very clearly outline what their goals are and how they intend to go about reaching their goals, and how their country education fund, their local country education fund, can help them reach their goals.
They need to have a strong commitment to wanting to achieve that goal, and that needs to come through very clearly.
The grants are not academically based at all. They're entirely based on a young person's ability to demonstrate that they have a realistic goal that's worth their community supporting.
Those that can apply for one of our grants are those that have left Year 10, Year 11, Year 12, and even those that perhaps have deferred for 1 or 2 years or so.
Our grants ranged from $500 to $2,500. We found that the level of need varied depending upon whether or not our students were eligible for youth allowance. Those that were eligible for youth allowance also qualified for other assistance, which meant that the amount that we gave them was less than what we gave to other people who didn't qualify for any government assistance.
I think that the youth that we have assisted in terms of grant recipients, it has meant a great deal to them. It has helped them realise their dreams and their goals, or at least assist in that regard, and also it means a great deal to their families, and that's what I think has been a real eye-opener to me, is just how much even a simple grant of $500, in the scheme of things not a lot, but to our local families that we assist, it means a significant amount, and that I think is just so important.
We get the message out to students through personal mail, so all Year 12 students and Year 10 students receive a personal letter from us, which includes an application form for our West Wyalong District Country Education Fund, and we advertise in the local newspaper. We're actually just starting a Facebook site as well, which is going to include information on our West Wyalong District Country Education Fund, as well as any other grants that we become aware of or opportunities that we become aware of. We're going to post them on that Facebook site. We have invited parents to register with us, so we can send information directly to the parents for them to pass on to their young people, and to schools, obviously, to pass on to their young students as well.
The application process, firstly we appoint a panel and an interview panel, so we have a chairman and 2 others. Then of course we advertise extensively through the local press and the local high school and TAFE colleges. We feel that's very important. Applications close, then we actually collate all of those. Those applicants are then gone through an interview process and are given a time, and they are interviewed quite extensively and in depth, which we feel is very important to get to know the applicant a lot better and let us help them further realise what they hope to achieve. Very important. And then of course we avail ourselves of course to assist them in any other ways post interview, and of course advise them by way of a letter if they're successful or otherwise. Fundraising is obviously vitally important, and I think yes, in a rural community it is quite difficult, but having said that, when you're raising funds for your own local youth in your own community to help them succeed and realise their goals and aspirations, we've found it relatively easy. I think it's vitally important that we, I suppose, celebrate the achievement of our youth receiving, firstly, of course, a grant, but also following that up throughout the 12-month period, I suppose. I think it's very important that the community know where their dollars have gone, and really it is an investment as far as we see it. And I think essentially it is vital to celebrate and keep, where possible, that ongoing, I suppose, relationship and communication lines with our grant recipients. Let them know that once they've received a grant, that is not where it ends. Come back to a local education foundation meeting, or call in and see one of the committee members, let them know how you're going, drop a letter, an email. Those sorts of things I think are vitally important. But also one of our most significant fundraising ventures is we host the Dev of the Year Ball, and we've just acquired that this year, and we have raised somewhere in the vicinity of around $7,000 from that, and that assists us significantly, and we can offer some reasonable dollars per annum to assist our local youth. We have been able to raise funds outside of our respective community because we have approached people that perhaps were in business here for a long period of time, and even residents that have been here for a long period of time that have indicated they still would like to assist in some way, shape or form. And of course we felt that important to approach these people, and they've only too willingly contributed, particularly its investment in our local youth in their former community. I think the community get a great deal out of assisting their local youth, because obviously they're our own youth that we have obviously bred and supported and seen grown up over many years, and there is some ownership, even if they're not our own children directly. There is a sense of ownership, and I think knowing that a local education foundation is literally in your backyard, I think every single member of that respective community can justifiably be very, very proud.
The local Country Education Foundation from Clare came to my school, and they informed all us about who they are and what they do, and how to apply, and what sort of grants they give out, and who they're looking for, and they really got us excited about applying.
Not just monetary support, but it's really lovely to have the support of the community.
The grants helped me by allowing me to come up here with less of a financial burden on my parents to go towards course fees.
The grant made everything possible for me. I wouldn't be in Sydney without it, so in a practical way, it helped with flights getting here and accommodation.
It gives that extra little touch to the whole thing, and it makes you really want to achieve something, not only for yourself but to make your community proud and say you came from that town.
Our local education foundation, I think, gives our young people a feeling that what they believe they can do is going to be possible for them, because it gives them that initial helping hand. They believe that things are possible for them, whereas previously they may not have had that sense, that feeling. And never before has it been more important to be able to assist our young people, due to drought conditions just being an absolute financial ball and chain on our local area, whether it's farming families or local families in town. The drought has affected absolutely everybody. So to be able to provide funds at this time is incredibly important to us and important to our local young people to enable them to reach their goals.
I enjoy my involvement with the Local Education Foundation for many, many reasons, but particularly the fact that, again, we've seen a lot of these local youth grown up over many, many years, seeing how the process and how they handle the process of the application process, seeking advice on how to fill that out, then the interview stage, seeing them grow and develop even during that period. And of course, if they are successful in receiving a grant, we have a function for them, and seeing how much it literally means to them, it makes a man very, very proud.
It's created a great vibe, and I think that a community that acknowledges their young people, it's something that you don't have to do. So by having something in our local area that acknowledges our young people and their goals, it just shows that we're a vibrant community, and a community that's a great place to live. The Country Education Foundation of Australia provide fabulous assistance to new education funds. They provide a wonderful model by which you can follow to get started, and it just makes getting up and running so easy. And of course, the funds that they provide over the first 3 years are just wonderful. $10,000 is provided over 3 years, $5,000 in the first year, $3,000 in the second year, and $2,000 in your third year of operation, which means particularly in your first year, $5,000 isn't an insurmountable amount of money to raise from your local community. It's very achievable, which gives you $10,000 to be able to start reaching your own education fund goals of providing effective grants to local young people.
The funds come from a wide range of sources, certainly not government funded, and that I think is an important point that needs to be remembered. The monies raised to assist our local youth come from directly the community, and that may be by way of local businesses in our community, local families, individuals, big business, small business, very much a community-based fundraiser, and that is directly where those dollars come from.
We've had great feedback from our supporters. We found that they valued contributing to our fund as much as we valued their contribution. They're passionate, as we are, about assisting young people, and they really believed in the integrity of our organisation. Funds aren't always easy to come by, but an organisation that supports young people, young rural people in the way that we do, I think gives us an edge on gaining funds. And even to the point where we had an article in our local newspaper when we first started, and somebody who used to live in the area read the newspaper article, and when they returned to their country town, they rang me and said, how can I help? How can I contribute? I don't think fundraising has really been difficult because I think the wider community is passionate as well about young people doing what they want to do and gaining skills that ultimately will be of benefit, whether it be in our community or other rural communities or in urban areas. We went through the regulatory type process of becoming incorporated. We formed a committee of like-minded people who were really passionate about young people from rural areas achieving their goals. We then brought together as many community members that we thought would be interested in the type of things that we were doing to tell them all about it and spread the good news.
I think the great thing about the Country Education Foundation of Australia is that help is never far away, and that to me it's like anything. A role is only as difficult as we wish to make it, and if we have a query, no matter what it is, we pick up the phone, ring the Chief Executive Officer, and quite literally it is answered most of the time on the spot. Emails, documents sent, whatever we require. We are just so blessed to have such a strong Country Education Foundation CEO and board right behind each local education foundation committee.
The Country Education Foundation has been very successful in gaining a great relationship with a number of education partners throughout Australia, and they include a range of universities as well as education providers such as Tocal Agricultural College and Canberra Institute of Technology. So a wide range of degree, diploma and certificate courses are offered through these education partners. The education partnerships that have been established